sunshine!
So I'm John Vidal. I work for The Guardian newspaper in London. Right, the idea is just to get a few people, anybody who wants to say anything about why you're going to Prague, what you plan to do. I wanted to come to Prague to report on the whole scene and what was happening. I heard that Kate was running this bus down here, and I asked if I could come on, and she put it to the group, and they remarkably agreed that I could come. Okay, let's talk about World Bank, IMF, and all these structures of power. What is it? Are you specifically against them?
Yeah. We're not just picking on that.
It's not
It's the whole caboodle.
The idea is you create more money, therefore more people will be rich, therefore more people will be able to survive, and they do not realise that money has got us in a complete stranglehold.
Yeah, and the trickle-down theory doesn't work.
No, and it's being amassed more and more into the hands of the people who have the most. And the people who have least are finding what the little they have is being taken away from them inch by inch all over the place. And it's people and it's animals and it's trees and it's all just fucking going up in smoke. There isn't the political will or motivation of people in power to sort out the first little thing about having a future for our children or our grandchildren.
Our brothers and sisters in those other countries are getting it such a lot worse than we are.
Yeah, we've got such luxury.
Totally, we have.
We've got a duty to use the freedom that we do have. Protesting non-violently about stuff I believe in, that I believe is the best and the only way for this place to survive.
There's a lot of the wisdom, I think, in what they're saying. It's not necessarily translated into political ideas, but I think the ideas which they are promoting are very fundamental and in the end subversive to the whole way the world has been set up over the last 50 years.
The World Bank and the IMF were set up after the Second World War in an attempt to re-establish the economies of countries that have been shattered by the war. And like the blag that they got in on in the first place was that they were helping people. And like the fact of the matter is that Western financial institutions could not survive without all this third world debt.
Don't force them to pay 7 times more back in debt than they do in aid. Just give them their own 2 feet to stand.
When they're massacring tens of thousands of them and destroying their
land. But don't understand how they think that building an oil pipeline out of Chad benefits anyone except Exxon and Amoco. What I do is that I make them sit down with the mothers in every country, the poorest mothers, and I would make them listen to what them women say.
It's a very tight, very strong, very powerful group. I think it's made stronger and more effective by the fact that there are very, very few men.
Protesting with a group of women is a very different way to protesting in a mixed group or with a group of men, because the way that a lot of activists protest is very patriarchal. It's very aggressive and confrontational.
It's just how we're putting it forward is not in a kind of destructive manner. It's in a kind of,
if you can make someone...
We're fed up with saying no, we all want to go yes!
The way that we live isn't to protest against what's going on, it's to do what we imaginatively want to create.
It's about coming along and actually picking it up by the hand and going, hey, come with us, we're having a laugh!
Like real people, you know what I mean, rather than just like being divisive, like we're fighting against you now, you know what I mean? It's like, it's trying to break all that down so there isn't this separation, Like, and that's the thing about us interacting with the, riot cops in our Pink&Silver, isn't it?
It's using art, it's using imagination as not a tactic, but as a way of approaching a problem, which is traditionally one of the most interesting and exciting and one of the most effective.
I'm surprised you can get shoes that size in your mouth.
Tactical.
Yeah. Tactical frivolity.
Yeah. It'll be interesting how it happens in practice though, when if there are riot police there and there is trouble and there is violence, and like I get really angry when confronted with a huge line of riot police.
The women are bouncing off each other. I think they're having such fun, and it's absolutely glorious to be part of it.
This is the only thing I've been worrying about. People be going, you're going to Prague, oh my God. God, there'll be loads of rides, please, it'll be really awful. And I'm going, as long as we get in.
As long as we get in.
Feeling really nervous.
What if we don't get in? Then what are we going to do, really?
Storm the border, I reckon.
We'll have to have a border party.
I don't think there's any way they can turn us away.
No, they can't.
No, it just looks far too
We'll just all get out and start doing our dance routines or something.
Czech needs us to glam it up a bit.
I'm assuming we got there about 1, and I think we got the hell out of there about 5:30 or 6. They weren't really having much of a laugh. They were completely unsmiling. Just went through everything in the vehicle. There were stamps in our passports going, rejected from, what does it say, Neplatny or something like that, from Czech. Then the journalist we were travelling with went over and showed them his international press card and said, so does that mean that I can't come in then? And they went, and they backtracked extremely. Owing to the good force of our mission and the fact that we appear to be part sponsored by The Guardian, we ended up getting in.
We've been in Prague for 3 nights now. We're preparing for the 26th when we're going to go to the protest, meets in a square, and it goes round to the conference centre, and we just want to take lots of really positive energy. We're making big carnival costumes in pink and silver, and we've got a samba band that's going to be drumming. We just met in the park, a little island in the middle of the river, to practice some of the samba noises and what we're going to do around that. We saw the police were watching from behind a tree, and some plainclothes people as well, and they ended up coming over, taking everybody's passports, getting angry when they were being filmed. In the end, you know, they didn't do much. The uniform coppers were laughing. How can they be scared of us, and we don't need to be scared of them? A lot of paranoia and cautiousness in the city, really.
There are police everywhere just watching everything.
The local people have been told not to speak to foreigners.
It feels very much like it's the build-up.
Last 9 in the morning, got up really early, got all our costumes together, pink and silvered up, completely spangled up, and went and got the tram into town to go and meet up with the samba band to go on the big demonstration. Feeling quite nervous about what was going to happen. Shit myself! Yeah, no I'm not, it's all fun. Went and got the tram into town to go and meet up with the samba band to go on the big demonstration.
Overthrow the
purely with the use of the colour pink.
And we all met up in the park, all the people who were going to march with the samba band, and everyone, it was amazing. We got to the little park and there was pink everywhere, and it's just like, it was really exciting, and there was people shaking and starting to play the drums and stuff. And then we marched as a group to the square where the whole demonstration was taking place, and there was loads and loads of people there. In the end, we all just sort of started marching off together. We got really near the Congress Centre, and then we started to see the lines of police, because we hadn't seen that many police at first. And then we just started to see the big line of police all waiting for us. And after that, we just started marching. I can't remember. We just started marching around again. We met another line of police, and that's when things started to kick off, basically. trying to get to the Congress Centre. Basically, we were trying to find any road to take us down there, and we'd go down one road and there'd be a police line, we'd go down another road, there'd be another police line, and then we'd just try and work our way back. When we got really near this hotel and we started to actually push the police line back, so we'd gone down this really small little gap, we managed to push them back for quite a bit.
I shook loads of people's hands and asked them about the World Bank and how their meeting was going and if they're enjoying themselves. And they shook my hand, smiled, and fucking chatted to me. It was bizarre.
But then they changed because they got their reinforcements and they started fucking kicking the shit out of loads of people. And then it just started getting really messy basically. They got in loads of reinforcements and people started getting arrested and like all this sort of violence and like hoods and black and like we were just like being people, so like if they could look and see us being people and real and alive, then that's got to be worthwhile really.
What are you doing? Think what you're doing. Save the earth, mate! Really think what you're doing. Love your fellow man! Love your fellow man! Oh,
I think it was a success. I think, yeah, I would say actually we really done the do.
It was a visual spectacle. It looked amazing, like these huge pink and silver things against lots of line of black. We got these photos today which are all pink and silver and carnival and samba and people enjoying themselves and being part of a big group and being really excited, raising loads of energy together. And it's just like all our photos are so different from the ones in the newspaper.
This is the first time I've ever been really front line, but I mean when we were at the front and there was all of us there in our pink outfits dancing around, I don't think the police knew what to make of it.
We were dressed not to play like the fighting game, the police game, the game that the police know already.
The thing is when all the people dressed in black, all masked up, all frightened of everything, are running away from the police, we're all still there going, so? It's just changing and shifting the way people think.
There are other people in the world who think the same as I do, even if they're using different ways of
of dealing with it.
It's more than just closing down a bit of road to stop delegates from leaving the conference centre. More than that, it's about, you know, I mean, really, we want to change the world. We want to totally shift it round so that we can evolve enough to learn to survive on this planet. And to do that, it's got to be everybody along.